better. Welcome to the Prince Edward County Conference Line. Please stand by. You'll be joined shortly.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I would like to call to order the February meeting for the Prince Edward County Board of Supervisors. At this time, I would ask Mr.
Chair, I just want to add a closed session item that would be under probably number 28 at the end of the agenda.
Okay. Chair accepts that addition. Now, Mr. Emmert, would you please lead us in an invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance?
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you just for the opportunity to be here this evening.
Yes.
Many blessings, just for health and strength.
Yes.
Ask now that you would be with us during this time, that you would give us direction on how to lead the county.
Yes.
Ask to be with each and every one as they travel. We'll give you glory and honor for it. And thank you in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
You would pledge allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. At this time, do we have any board members with a conflict of interest to disclose? No, seeing none. We will move on to recognitions. Ms. Crystal?
Good evening, Chairman, members of the board. Prince Edward County Sheriff's Deputy Kenyana Q. Eanes Ford is recognized as the February Employee of the Month for her dedication, strong work ethic, and willingness to go above and beyond. Q currently serves as the Accreditation Manager and Evidence Custodian, is actively restructuring the Sheriff's Communication Team, and is focused on community outreach to ensure the Sheriff's Department is viewed as a positive presence within our community. With 12 years of service to Prince Edward County, she is a dependable employee whose positive attitude and commitment to teamwork make her deserving of this recognition.
Thank you.
Tree fast, man.
Ain't no doubt. Nothing, let's go. That's right.
At this time, we will open our meeting for public participation. Trey, do we have anyone signed up? No one signed up. Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to speak at this time?
I'd like to have closed session with all the supervisors at your convenience.
So we have to go in closed session. You can do them individually, but you can't go in closed session with a group without there's only certain things are allowed to be in closed session under state law.
I'll be happy to disclose those privately.
Okay, so Trey, if you could hook him up with our Assistant County Administrator, and Sarah can have a conversation with you and see if what you have is eligible to go in closed session.
Thank you.
But I would also say that I'm sure individually, they'd love to be able to talk to you.
Yes, sir. Anyone else? Seeing none. Okay, we will move along to Board of Supervisors comments. Mr. Emmert?
Just like to say thank each and every one of you all for being here this evening. It's your time to see what's going on in not only in what we have, but bringing the ideas to us. Thank you for being here.
Just want to, what's the gentleman that asked for the closer? What's your name
Mr. David.
David Tolcott,
and where you live?
Farmville.
Okay. First, thank everybody for being here, and again, your voice really means a lot, and we appreciate you and your feedback.
I'd like to say good evening. Thank you for braving the weather. It has been a real doozy. Happy to see as many people here, and pray for everyone to make it home safe.
Mr. Tillapa, we want to make sure that we address all of your concerns, so thank you for being here tonight, and we hope to set up a time where we can meet with you. As part of my comments, I want to provide a brief kind of legislative update. If you're in the world of local government or state government, you've been getting lots and lots of emails about legislative update. I just want to share some new taxes that Richmond is currently proposing. It's looking like many of these will pass. An additional local sales tax in all Virginia counties and cities, a large employer tax, a gun and ammunition tax, new income tax brackets, a delivery tax, which would hit Amazon, Uber Eats, FedEx, and UPS orders in Northern Virginia, investment income tax, event tax, storage facility tax, gym membership tax, dog walking tax, dog grooming tax, counseling tax, digital personal property tax, new car taxes and highway use fees, statewide speed cameras, not necessarily a tax, but more fines for drivers, a vehicle repair tax, a home repair tax, a dry cleaning tax, a rideshare tax, and a fantasy sports tax. I could go on. Our goal here is to serve you as citizens. I share that information to make sure that we're all staying informed about what's happening. Please reach out to your state elected officials. We're doing everything we can in Prince Edward County to help our people. We know that between inflation and the economy and various other factors, that budgets are very, very tight. And nothing I just listed is helping loosen any of those budgets. So I certainly don't oppose, I certainly oppose, I do not support those actions. And I want you to know that we're doing everything we can here to make our burden on our citizens as light as possible as we seek to serve you in the ways that we exist to serve you. So that concludes my remarks.
Thanks. I'd like to say, everybody, welcome. And as Patty said, I'm glad you brought the thaw with you. I've been here most of my 58 years. I do not recall a period quite so cold for so long. Glad that we dodged the ice storm that Harrison and I and several people had a little meeting prepared for. It's going to be costly and difficult on everybody. We dodged that bullet. We're very thankful. Thanks for coming.
Thank everybody for coming. Anybody got extra bird feed, I'll take it. The birds eat me at the house at home, but I'll make it up. Thank y'all for coming.
Good evening, everybody. We're thankful that you're here. We're happy that you braved the weather, and I wish for each of you a happy Valentine's Day weekend. Thank you.
I'm also glad to see everyone, and I'm glad we got a little break in this weather finally. Some warm temperatures to help melt some of the stuff out of the way. Hope it continues to be warm for us. Again, glad to see everyone tonight.
Thank you, sir. At this time, we will entertain our consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, I have a correction. On page 48 of the packet, it's the minutes of the January 13th meeting. Paragraph 24 says the applicant shall not use the public rights-of-way, and it needs to be added, State Route 634, New Bethel Road. I went back and double-checked the videotape. Supervisor Townsend made that part of his motion, and we need to include that in the minutes.
Move that the minutes be approved with the said amendment. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper-Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson? Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes,
And my vote is yes. The motion carries.
that was 6:34.
Yeah, New Bethel.
Next, we would like to welcome our business partner spotlight as introduced by Ms. Chelsea White.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This month's Business Spotlight, for this month's Business Spotlight, we are pleased to feature County Line Venue. County Line Venue is owned and operated by Chris and Jennifer Conkright, who have proudly called Prince Edward County home throughout their 40 years of marriage. Their youngest son, Colin, is also an important part of the family business, serving as assistant manager and the venue's in-house DJ. Jennifer is originally from Raleigh, North Carolina, and recently retired from Longwood University. Chris is a graduate of Virginia Tech and spent many years as a teacher and coach. In addition to operating County Line Venue, Chris serves on the Prince Edward County Tourism Council, where he has helped advise county staff on tourism initiatives and marketing promotion projects. His contributions to these efforts are greatly appreciated. At this time, please join me in welcoming Mr. Chris Conkright to the podium to share highlights about County Line Venue.
Thank you for that, Chelsea. I might let you do the rest of it. You did a great job. First off, I want to thank everybody for the chance to come up here and say hi to y'all and talk a little bit about our venue. And first off, I want to say it's great to be in a county where we get so much support. Everything we've had business-wise, administrative-wise has been fantastic. The county promoting all the businesses has been fantastic, so the future looks really good. So I'm very happy to be here in Prince Edward County. I think we're in the right place. Like Chelsea said, County Line is definitely a small family-run business. We've been around for about 6 years. We're located in the very southern part of the county, right on County Line Road, where Buffalo Creek comes down. So kind of a history buff, and we're in an area where there was a lot of Civil War activities going on and that sort of thing. So we enjoy exactly where we're at, and our venue itself is quite different. I built everything with the help of my sons, and we try to keep the character of the local area intact. So most everything we have is local. We get the timber local, we get the trees local, we get everything, and it has quite a lot of unique features. A lot of the things came from old buildings and historic buildings and that sort of thing. I know it's kind of a thing to do now is recycle and repurpose, but down our way, we've been doing it for years, mostly because we didn't have any money, so we had to make use of what we had. So, but it's worked out very, very well for us. So it makes it for a very unique structure. A lot of people say it's a very real eclectic, intimate space while being very spacious and that sort of thing. So, and in the past year, we've had 1,500 people visit our community through weddings and special events. And just to give a count, we've had them come from North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Pennsylvania, Long Island, Michigan, Colorado, California, Portland, Canada, Germany, South Africa, and we had 12 little ladies come in from China, and they couldn't speak a word of English, and I couldn't speak a word of Chinese, but they had a great time. So it says, I think it says a lot that we're bringing in people from literally from all over the world to Abilene, Virginia. And that right there is an amazing feat. That they can, first off, that they can find the place. So that's very, very, I've always thought that was very interesting. And for for our weddings, we're a little unique in that we have, a lot of people will come not just for the day, they will come for the long weekend, which means they get to visit the town, they get to come to visit our community, and they stay at a location that we have it there on the farm. We have a farmhouse that's pre-Civil War that has been remodeled, and a lot of people really enjoy coming there and staying for that. It's always interesting when you have people come from all over. We had some teenagers came in. They literally lived in Washington, D.C., and they came out, and they were staying at the farmhouse that night, and they came out and they were looking up at the sky. It was a beautiful, clear night, and they literally went, "What's all that stuff?" They were pointing at the stars. So we sometimes take for granted how, how beautiful it is down here, and we, like I said, we might overlook some of those things, but believe me, a lot of people that come in here don't overlook it. But we do more than just weddings. We do family reunions, we do special events, we do business meetings, everything from very small events up to big things. And we have an Easter event coming up here, not too, I guess it's in March. So we're looking forward to that. And like Chelsea said, my son does DJing. I'm actually an officiant on it, which helps out sometimes. But it's been very, very pleasant doing, like I said, mainly doing the business here in Prince Edward County, because it has been so helpful and everything else. And just in closing, I wanted to say we had back this past summer, we had a group that came from Canada, and they had been down here for pretty much the whole week, because having to make the visit, they were going to make the best out of it and everything else. So they came and they stayed in Farmville. They went to our shops. They went to the stores. They got to know all the people and everything, and had a nice rehearsal dinner. We had a great wedding. And I'm sitting here, I'm talking with the group, her family and everything, and they're all from Canada and everything, and they're just talking about this and that and how their interactions have been and everything. And this girl stops mid-sentence, and she looks at me and goes, I'm from Canada, and I've never been to America. And she goes, well, I've been to Portland once, but I don't think that counts. And and she looks back at me, she goes, but this is what I always thought America would be like. And I thought that was a great reflection, not just our place, but the whole community and everything that we're making out here. So I'm just glad to very much be a part of it, and I hope to be here interacting with you guys for a long time in the future. And thank you very much again for the Chelsea and everything, and Doug, for everything you do, and thank you for the chance to say hi to y'all tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Frederick, I hope you can give a equally patriotic.
I agree with the girl from Canada. So, Mr. Conkright, I Googled the address. It's 151 Conkright Lane for that county line venue, but it's actually off of Junction Canal Road, which is a rural rustic that we completed last year. Turned out very well. So hopefully that road's serving you well. So it's good to be back. I was in Lynchburg the last couple of months. I came back just in time for the cold, snowy weather to get here. But I want to say thank you to Brian Locker, the assistant resident engineer in Farmville. He filled in for me while I was in Lynchburg. He did a great job. He caught me up to speed on the issues from last month's meeting. The drainage issues on Poorhouse came up. The pavement issue on Pisgah Church, and the trucks that are being routed with their GPSs from Keysville to 460, it's somehow sending them through Five Forks Road. So we're working on those three issues. The Poorhouse pavement, I think there's still snow in those ditches, but we're going to come through there this spring and fix the drainage. And then Pisgah Church Road, we're going to make a plan to patch that. And we've been working with traffic engineering on some signage for the Five Forks Road problem. But the big update this month is snow operations. We went into 24/7 snow operations on January 24th. And since then, we've been in and out of them. It seems like right when we get recovered from a storm, another snowstorm has come in on top of it. So that kind of all wrapped up last Saturday, and then we've been just catching up since. And let's see here. But yeah, this nice weather today has definitely got me smiling. So I think it's the first day that I really saw things thaw out, but our gravel roads are getting soft because of it. So we're keeping an eye on those. I'm sure your people are telling you about their issues. The week leading up to snow, we were preparing. Somebody mentioned the forecast there. We were supposed to get 22 inches of snow. So that whole week we were really pulling out some stuff we hadn't used in a while and getting ready. But we were ready for it. And then since then, we've been getting restocked throughout those storms and since then on salt and sand. So our quantities are good on those, and we're ready for any more snow that we might get. But I'm going to finish by saying it's only 38 days till spring.
Sounds good.
Only.
But I can take questions or comments from the board at this time.
Go ahead, Lou.
You're gonna have plenty of potholes.
Oh, yeah.
Another week.
Yeah, it's that time of year, right after you come out of a hard freeze. Yeah, we're ready for them.
Thanks for all the work you did.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Thank you. I think we had some help. I think I might have heard or seen David Emmert out there clearing a crossover. Thank you. Thank you and anybody else that did help us.
Scott, Oliver Road, it will be west of 1131, and I can't tell you exactly where it's at, but the west side, there is where the pavement ends, going into the shoulder there, it's probably 1.5 feet deep. There've been, I know, 4 tires cut on that during the snow. We're
Okay.
gonna get over, if you would. I think Sarah actually has the address, but if not, call me and I'll go up there and get it for you.
Okay. So it's like an edge, right on the edge of
That's
pavement?
correct, right on,
Okay.
it is an edge, right, exactly what it is.
Okay. Well, all right, we'll get that filled in. Try to get them to do it tomorrow.
Jesse?
Scott,
Yes, sir.
on Red Shop Road, off of Worship, about the 3rd or 4th tree on that road is a little maca hanging off top of the road. I
Okay.
don't know about that big.
Yep.
Right near where, like, right off of Worsham, you said, on Red Shop? Okay.
About the 3rd or 4th tree down that road, it was hanging from the right side.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'll send the guys out there to check it. All righty. Well, thank you, board.
Scott,
Oh, yes, ma'am.
just reminded my town hall meeting, March
Okay.
26th.
Gotcha.
Think of it. And thanks for all of the hard work.
No problem at all.
Remembers.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna save mine, Scott, to
I was
later.
gonna say, Jerry's he's saving you, Scott.
I'll give you a call.
Yeah, me and them talk all the time.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Next, the board welcomes to the podium Mr. Sheriff Tony Epps.
Thank you all. Hope everybody's doing good. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight to give you a very brief summary of the Sheriff's Department activities for 2025. And it feels like a year's half over already, but anyway. 2025 was a very busy year for the Sheriff's Department. Our deputies responded to over 9,800 calls for service. So that's more than we ever had. Our investigators received around 250 of those cases to investigate. Our deputies issued over 900 traffic summons under county code. Deputies served and made over 300 arrests last year. Our civil process served over 6,100 civil papers, a lot. They spent over 600 hours at Central sitting with mental patients. So we thought that those may lighten up, but it looks like they're getting more and more all the time. They also made 43 transports across the Commonwealth while transporting mental patients and subjects for court. Our dispatchers from January the 1st to December the 31st made over 1,800 phone calls to senior citizens that are signed up for our senior phone patrol. So that's working good. I wish we had more people to sign up, but it's available if you know anybody that may need to sign up for it. And for y'all that don't know what it is, it's a program for the seniors. If they want us to give them a call to check on them in the mornings or at night before bedtime, or both, we'll give them a call just to check on them. Because not everybody has family close by, you know. So we do still offer that program. Since October the 1st, since we merged dispatch, my dispatchers, they've been busy with answering administrative phone calls entering protective orders and warrants into the system, assisting walk-in people who come to the window that need service and that need to see a magistrate, and they monitor all the security cameras throughout the courthouse. And they are still VCIN operators when needed, so they're still staying busy even though they're not dispatching the deputies to the calls. And they also are responsible for the Crime Solvers phone, so they answer that. We were really busy with community service and policing. Our department still does car unlocks. Not all agencies do that anymore. Farmville doesn't do it anymore. But I felt like it should be a public service, so we're going to continue to do it. You know, a lot of people can't afford $150 to unlock a car. So, in 2025, we responded to 243 car unlock calls. So, it's a lot. Deputies also do nightly business checks throughout the county. Myself and the deputies attend neighborhood watch meetings throughout the year, and we appreciate Supervisor Townsend for having us over at his neighborhood watch and Dr. Pride. And, I wish more would come about. Let's see. We also attend community events around the county, including, you know, setting up our tent and booths and handing out information and pamphlets to senior citizens and to children. You know, trying to interact with the public, and it seems to work very well. We have a good relationship with the public, I do believe. And twice a year, we join Farmville Police Department with the DEA drug take-back. So if you have any prescription drugs that you need to get rid of, we'll be, I don't have the dates yet, but it'll be in April and then again in October. So we do it twice a year. So if you have any drugs you want to get rid of, you can bring them by and see us. We'll be over next to Chick-fil-A doing that. October, we had a National Night Out. It was a really big event. I know some of y'all came. I think everybody had a great time, and we look forward to doing it again this year. The last one, I think, was the biggest one we've had yet. And in closing, I just want to say that we could not have done or completed all this work without your support. It's greatly appreciated, more than you know. And I just ask that you continue to support the Sheriff's Office and public safety in general. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're doing a good job.
Thank y'all.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Next, we'd like to welcome Ms. Crystal Barton.
Good evening. I'm happy to be here tonight to give you an update on the recent consolidation. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for helping make this consolidation a reality. I'd also like to thank Sheriff Epps, Mr. Stanley, and Trey for their continued support throughout the process. As many of you know, I was appointed the director October the 1st. Before that, I served as the emergency communications manager for the past couple of years, and I've been with Farmville Emergency Communications for 27. I've spent many of those years dispatching, so I've seen firsthand how the center has grown over the years. Like any major change, the consolidations has had a few bumps along the way, but I am committed to working through those challenges. The consolidation took a lot of planning and teamwork, not just from me, but also from Sheriff Epps, his staff, Mr. Stanley, and Trey. With their support and the support we have from all of you, I truly believe we're building one of the best communication centers around. A little bit about the center. I currently have a staff of 24, which is 20 full-time and 4 part-time. They work 12-hour shifts, 6:30 A to 6:30 P and 6:30 P to 6:30 A. My staff range with experience from 30 years to just 1 week. That mix of experience is one of our greatest strengths. Our newer and younger employees are always bringing fresh ideas to the table. One of our biggest accomplishments was in 2023, the Communications Center was accredited by the Office of EMS for Emergency Medical Dispatch. This means our dispatchers can provide CPR instructions and other pre-arrival medical instructions before the rescue squad arrives. All of our staff are CPR certified, and each year I have to submit reports to keep the standards to the Office of EMS. So as part of the consolidation, we were also awarded a $1 million grant from the Virginia Department of Emergency Management. With this funding, it has helped us start remodeling the communications center. Our goal is to be in the new center this time next year. As part of this expansion, we also plan to go from 5 dispatch positions to 8 to support future growth. Overall, the consolidation has made communications between all departments much more efficient. Bringing everyone under one roof allows our dispatchers to work together to provide the service our citizens and first responders deserve. It has also eliminated call transfers and emergencies. Those seconds truly matter. None of this would have been possible without our dedicated staff who keep the center running and those who answer the call when our community needs us the most. I'm extremely proud of the work they do. I've also shared with you our annual report for 2025, and also I have set up a daily email. I know some of y'all have registered for that. If you would like to see it, it kind of gives you an insight of what the deputies and fire and rescue are doing daily. It goes out about 7 o'clock in the morning. So if you're interested, just let myself or Trey know, and we'll get you that email sent out to you. But I appreciate all of your support, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Crystal, I just want to, Mr. Chairman, just thank Crystal. She was thanking all of us, but she's made the transition really easy for everyone. And I know Sheriff and I both, Trey, we all appreciate her leadership in going through this process. And certainly the grant, it's going to be a big help. So thank you.
Mr. Love?
Chairman, members of the board, a public hearing tonight is consideration of a zoning ordinance text amendment, miscellaneous uses related to towers, communications towers. While county staff was working with the new P25 public safety radio project, I was working with Mr. Pyle on that, it became real apparent that the radio system was going to need to locate on towers. And there is not an abundance of really tall towers in the county, with the exception of the state police tower, which is pre-existing, which the county is signed a lease to locate on. During this review, we looked at the entire ordinance section to determine whether it meets state code, whether it conflicts with state code, and ran across a couple things that we knew were there. In your draft, the draft ordinance amendment on page 78, 79, you'll see that the bold and underline is new language. There's a strikeout in there as well. This ordinance amendment, because it's in zoning, went to the Planning Commission. Planning Commission held their advisory hearing. No one spoke, and Planning Commission recommended approval, forwarding it to you all. This public hearing was properly advertised. To hit the highlights on this, on page 78, in number 3, the way it's currently written in the county code is no tower shall exceed 199 feet, including antennas. This presents a logistical problem for putting the P25 radio equipment that needs higher heights for transmission of that signal. So looking at different localities, pulled this new language together that's enabling. It doesn't set a maximum, the maximum height is still there, but requests for exceptions to the height restriction must have board approval through this special use permit process. So the way this would work is they would apply for a special use permit. They would give their reasoning. It just can't be, we want a spec tower, we want a height just because we want a certain height. They would have to have a reasoning. They need, whether they need 5 carriers or they need to have emergency radio equipment. We know we will have one application that's been on hold that will come back to you all, that will be increasing because we are working with them to try to get radio equipment on it. There's a dead zone in the Darlington Heights area. One of the things we took out, which state code did not allow, and I'll be clear, we've only had two towers applied in my time here since 2020. But the old code, existing code, I should say, said that, basically mandated that a tower company give us a free space on that tower. Code of Virginia does not allow that. Case law does not allow that. So we took that out. We have not been enforcing that. We still left it in there that we desire to have a co-location opportunity, and that would be negotiated with the county administrator, this board. So materially, we took that out so we wouldn't be in conflict with the state code and existing case law that has kind of struck that out of consideration. I'd be glad to answer any questions. Oh, the other thing we put in there is that the transmissions from telecommunications equipment will not interfere with the emergency public safety communications. I had pulled a couple of counties that had that. That protects us. Somebody puts a piece of equipment up there that we don't know, that wasn't intended to conflict with the new P25, we can make them fix it. Without that, be a little tougher. And we certainly don't want to have any interference. We had in there that it complied with FCC, but this took it one step further, that it specifically cannot interfere with air equipment. So that protects local investment and the investment that you all have made in that system. Nobody can mess it up. Be glad to answer any questions.
Yes, sir. Do we have any questions for Mr. Love before we open the public hearing? No? At this time, we'll open the public hearing. We have no one signed up to speak at the public hearing. Is anyone here present, would you like to speak? Seeing none, we will close the public hearing. Thank you. At this time, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that, I move that the Board of Supervisors approve the ordinance amendment to amend Appendix B of the Prince Edward County Code, Section 3-100.13, miscellaneous use towers.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper-Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Jenkins?
Yeah.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
My vote is yes. The motion carries. All right.
So the next item, I've included in your packet, the Planning Commission Annual Report. If you remember last month, gave you a report with a lot of these numbers. Some of these numbers I reported last month were not completed, so we've got a complete number now for the full calendar year. The Code of Virginia requires that Planning Commission prepare and submit to you all an annual report. First off, I would like to thank the Planning Commission. Mr. Gillum is a board representative on that commission. They've done a lion's share of work this year. One of the biggest things is updating the comprehensive plan. We didn't do that during COVID because we couldn't have community meetings, but they spent 18 months. It ultimately culminated in the adoption of the new document, but it was a lot of hard work, and we got to the end of that process, and I think it's been very beneficial to the community as a whole. And I have people all the time asking, reading that document, but they held 6 regular meetings, and we had the things that was considered was an ordinance amendment to allow commercial kennels by special use permit. This was a request by a professor coming to Hampton-Sydney, so we're working with them on that project. We had a rezoning that was related to a special use, so that was to allow a mini warehouse or mini storage. You had a campground approved. You've had a couple community solars. You've had a restaurant in Green Bay. The old gas station is a beautiful renovation of that into a nice restaurant. A rural events facility. The new communications tower, which is finished, and Verizon's we've issued permits on them to co-locate at SMI Way to put equipment, so that should be improving the signal here in the town of Farmville and the region. And of course, just recently, the 150 megawatt solar facility at Tobacco Trail Solar was approved. There was one denial, and that was an 80 megawatt solar along Falkland Road. As far as permitting on zoning permits, we ended up with 202 zoning permits. We had lesser homes last year than we did in the prior year. We had 20 site-built homes, 16 manufactured homes, and 9 modulars. Part of this, we know as staff that the town of Farmville has had some properties become available where new homes have been built. So they got the numbers this year. That they've had some new lots come on board off of Lane Street, right on the Davis side. But I won't read all those permit information for you. Also had an update on the CIP project. Of course, you know, the Worsham site is completed and looks really nice. I personally took some air, one of you, after your meeting, went there the first night it was open, and that attendant was really working hard that night, and it was working really well. So I can personally report, he did a great job that night, and people were enjoying it. There was a lot of people lined up to get in there, and he was attending to them. So that's working very well. I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have of me, but like I said, we had a very successful year. We had a lot more commercial development this year than residential, so that does add value, tax value, to when those tax bills will come out this year. That's what I got on that.
Okay. Any questions on that before Robbie moves on? No? Please go ahead.
All right, so the next item is fee schedule update. Working with Mr. Stanley on this. Going back to some of the, one of the things that was brought forward earlier in the supervisor comments. Staff is cognizant of, recognize that what we do costs taxpayers, our services, our inspections, our certifications, our advertising. So we look through, and Philip will talk about his fee schedule, but they're in review of the community development fees, specifically, every year my advertising fees for public hearings is going through the roof. Not criticizing the paper, they've got to make a living, but we've got one paper, and we run the ads through them. Appreciate to keep that we do have a local paper. That's very beneficial to have that, and that's our primary way of getting ads out. Of course, we put the ads on the county website and county social medias, which that's no cost. We do also, because of our county code, staff installs and retrieves a notification sign that alerts the neighbors in the region that any applications is coming up. So a lot of that takes time, and then again, postage is going up as well. And looking at some of the fees, had Mackenzie Tate, who works with me, assisted me in calling some of these folks, looking at the websites. Not everybody had their stuff online, but I've had a matrix list of our current county fees as they compare to Amelia, Cumberland, Charlotte, Nottaway, Appomattox, Lunenburg, and even the town of Farmville. And most of those localities have updated their fee schedule in the last few years, while we have not. I think 2021 was the last time we looked at ours. We're grossly under what everybody else is doing, and the long and short, it's not paying for our services, and we're looking at this as a user fee rather than, we don't want commercial residential development to impact a shut-in or someone on fixed income. So hopefully, we're trying to get to that it helps at least pay for the ads and the services that we provide. If you look I've got on the fee schedule itself, I've got the existing fee and then the proposed fee. Just want to touch on a couple of those. We propose a residential to be the same fee as the town of Farmville. Accessory structure is the same. Commercial was really low, artificially low. So we've got that at $100. One thing we did look at, a lot of localities do not charge for agricultural buildings. Under the Code of Virginia, a barn or a shed for a bona fide agricultural use they don't apply for a building permit. They can file it with us. They file an affidavit. So we're actually proposing a no fee on that. The purpose of that is hopefully it'll help a farmer not have to come out of pocket. We'll still assist them in checking setback. That's literally for a barn is 10 feet to the side and rear property line in most districts. The main thing is on the special use permits, and the main expense that I've had It's impacting my budget, and it's probably it could put me in the red on advertising, I'm not sure yet, until we get to the end of the year, but solar. Solar has a lot of neighbors. We put out extra signs, and it requires a lot of work to process even a small site solar. So we have increased that. Under our code, utility services major includes the solar facilities. So that's basically the nuts and bolts of it. Our subdivision fee, that is in the subdivision code, so we cannot modify that at this time. The other thing I'll highlight on, we have been on the larger solar sites. We've been getting a third-party professional review. They have been paying for that. The county procures that independently. They reimburse us. The Tobacco Trail Solar was one of those. But we put that in the fee schedule in '21, and it's been beneficial because we've gotten that money back to us from Tobacco Trail. I'd be glad to answer any questions you all might have of me on the fee schedule.
Well, if I read that right, the solar energy facility is 33 cents a square foot, is that correct?
That's in the building code, yes, sir, yeah. This would, and Philip will touch on that on his schedule. On mine is specifically for the special use permit, and then, of course, they would fall under site plan. ENS and stormwater is a state-run fee, so we can't increase stormwater fees at all. I'm not proposing that either. I think they're adequate for what we're doing. But yeah, that is specifically related to the special use permits that it relates to them.
So we're looking at page 90 right now.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I should
Yeah.
have said that. I
90.
apologize.
So the table packet will
There we
be,
go, that's where I'm.
yeah, that'll be next.
I apologize. I didn't highlight that.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, on the left-hand side, we got the existing fee, and then there's a proposed fee.
So I'm not trying to back you into a corner.
No.
But most of your advertising expenses came through solar facilities.
And special use.
And special use.
Yes, correct.
And solar kind of fits under that umbrella of the
So,
special use.
yes, sir. In this fee schedule, and then for a rezoning, a zoning text amendment, a board of zoning appeals appeal or variance, and in any special use permit, we have to run ads. We have to send adjoining property owner notifications, and we have to visit the site at least twice to install and retrieve a sign. Sometimes we end up replacing a sign between the time it starts with the planning commission and the board. Like, if it's on a highway, it can blow down.
Let me just say this, make it, so we advertise a public hearing at both planning commission and the board.
That's correct.
We're paying 200 and some bucks per ad. If we're only charging 300, we're losing right off the
Losing
bat.
money all the time, yeah.
So at least the 500 is at least covering the cost of the advertisement. Now, if you have multiple hearings the same night, it's a little bit cheaper.
A little bit cheaper, yes.
But we're not always guaranteed of that.
Yeah, and I try to, if I can, set more than one public hearing per meeting. Like, that's purposeful, not trying to tie y'all's time up all night, but it does strategically help us to save on an ad, because the base ad costs a mountain, and we got so much per word.
The whole premise is to charge the user and not the citizens of the county.
That's correct.
At the same time, when I'm looking at this, I'm seeing, and I'm in total agreement with you for the SUP for utility services.
Yes, sir.
That's a lot of extra legwork on your department. We need to recoup those costs, and those companies need to compensate us. I would rather us not increase fees on residential construction and commercial activity. These are the exact economic drivers that we need desperately. And every one of these barriers, as small as they are, they're an extra straw on the camel's back. I can't support raising fees on those two items. Home occupation permit. Granted, it's a negligible amount, but do I have any support on the board for my sentiment there?
I do, I would, with the SUP for utilities, I would like to see it raised higher than that, but that's my personal opinion.
Well, you certainly can change any of these. You had a recommendation from the planning commission. Also, we tried to specifically not get any higher than anybody around us, and I understand your concerns and what your goals are, sir. I do want to say one thing that I don't know how many people know, this county does not have a business license, which I think is a great thing. So whether it's 10 or 25, that doesn't matter to me. We'll do whatever y'all want to do. But annually, businesses don't have to pay a business license here, which is a great benefit, I think, to attracting a business. And I always tell people that are looking to start a business here, that whether even the SUP, that they don't have to.
What are those fees in other places?
What is it for the town of Farmville? Because the town of Farmville has a business license.
I did not look at the business license side because we don't have a business license. So,
I can tell you my business license to renew it each year is over $6,000 for the town of Farmville.
there's a good example. I mean, people are saving that in the county.
Which is great.
It is great.
That's exactly the kind of thing, instead of, I like to be of the mindset of, we're not higher than anybody else around. No, I would rather be the lowest of anybody.
Yes, sir.
around.
Yes, sir. Well, that's kind of where I was going on the farmers. I think
Okay.
farmers need all the help they can get today.
Farmers, but also, residential.
Yes, sir.
When we look at home prices.
Affordable
and
housing,
wanting
yes,
to-
sir.
We talk about wanting to keep Longwood students and Hampton-Sydney students and young people and have families. Each one of these fees is another barrier to say, go somewhere else.
We'll do whatever y'all want to do as a collective, so.
Retool it, kind of work on it a little bit. Kick the can down the road for another one. Hash it out a little bit.
Thank
This
you.
does not have to go for a public hearing.
So Ken, are you making that a motion or what?
I don't know, just maybe discuss it, maybe we should kind of regroup a little bit and come up with something that we all like.
You mentioned a higher fee for the utility services. What did you have in mind, Mr. Emmert?
5,000?
5,000? And leave the other?
Simply because they're gonna pay it one way or another, whether they pay it on the front end or whatever else. If they're coming to us asking us as much effort as there is for staff and as long a time as it takes us to go through each and every one of those, that's just my opinion.
So would you accept the concept of 5,000 for the SUP for utility services, no fee for the agricultural storage and barns, and leave the existing fees as they currently are?
I'm not gonna speak to the agriculture at all simply because I'm a farmer. So I'm gonna abstain from that, but I have no problem with leaving the others as they are if we went to the 5,000. Status quo or proposed either one, I will say that.
In the special use permit, leave that at 3 or change that to 5?
I think it needs to go to 5 simply because it takes that just to cover the cost. I think that we need to cover the cost, and that's where I am with this solar. I mean, by the time everybody makes 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 trips out to that thing, it ends up costing everybody, even our time or whatever else, and not that we get quote unquote paid for our time, but it's all these companies, every time they come here, they talk about how much money it's gonna bring into us. $5,000 is nothing to them, literally nothing. So that's my 2 cents worth, or a nickel's worth maybe.
You want to make a formal motion?
I would make a motion to accept it as presented with the exception of the SUP, with utility services, move to 5,000.
Special use to 500.
And the special use to, correct, as proposed,
As proposed with all of the other increases.
as proposed
Down-
with
down
the
the-
SUP and I would actually break that off. The 500 and the 5,000 and status quo with the rest.
Status quo for the rest.
Correct. That
Okay.
is my motion.
Okay, do we have a second? Oh,
Could I ask
Mr.
just
Love.
one question?
Please.
Absolutely,
And that's just point of clarification to you.
absolutely.
Just make sure you are aware that rezonings, zoning amendments, and BZA variances cost the same as SUP.
What I should have said, and I'm glad you brought that up, everything below the special use permit to go to proposed, from special use permit to 500, the 5,000, 500 plus 50 per acre, 500 for zoning, 500 for the BZA, 300 plus the $10 per acre over 5 acres for the site, 25 for the home occupancy, and the zoning at 50, and from signs up as status quo. Does that make sense to what it was?
All right, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper-Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
My vote is yes. The motion carries. Good work. Yes. Mr. Moore? Thank you, Robbie.
Mr. Chairman,
Evening.
members of the board. So the building department, we're proposing some modifications and additions to our current fee schedule. Several of these changes are to just change our existing format to our fee schedule to match our new permitting software for purposes of creating the bills and so forth that we have to send to the treasurer's office. A few of these are increases, and so I'll go through those. There's are some decreases as well. Under residential dwellings, under the category, we are moving accessory structures and pools down alongside remodel, and that is to actually, those jobs are usually not as involved as, say, a new house. So that would actually be a reduction in square footage charge of 20 cents a square foot for those projects compared to what they would pay now if they were to get a permit for that. Under residential, plan review used to be a miscellaneous fee, and that's moved. And you're going to see that most of the miscellaneous fees are no longer there. They've been moved under each category. And that's because that's how it has to be aligned in our permitting system so that we can assign the appropriate fees if it's a residential versus a commercial project. The plan review for residential, that is $50 instead of $100 for the other plan review we had. Tent stays at $100, but again, that's moved under the residential category. Same thing for signs. That's just to realign our fees with our new system. Under commercial projects, I did make a change. We used to have a separate fee, whether it was a new tower or a co-location. It used to be $1,000 for a new tower, $750 for a co-location. Most co-locations now, if they are required to get a permit, they're not just swapping out antennas, it's because they're doing something to change the tower, to improve the tower. So I'm proposing we just charge the same fee, whether it's a co-location or a new tower for those. The plan review for commercial, that is an increase under commercial from 100 to 200. Tent stays the same at 100 and signs stay the same at 50. The biggest change comes under, we add a new section under administrative fees. If someone's looking for a code modification after the permit is issued, this establishes a fee. It's in line with what other localities will do. That oftentimes, requires to go back through the code, to examine the code, also review whatever they're proposing as their modification, and it gives us an administrative fee to charge for that process when that's needed. We also occasionally will have people that need to review or revise their plans or their permits. This adds a fee, an administrative fee for that. I think it's residential 25, commercial 75.
How often do these occur?
Not too often, but they do happen occasionally. More on commercial than residential, but occasionally we will have someone that wants to change the plans or something like that to a project they've started, and we have to kind of go back through the process again, and this just adds a fee for that. A big one is the permit extension or renewal. We currently do not have a fee. If someone's permit has expired, we do not have a set fee. We don't have a fee set for that. This allows us to, it gives us a set fee, and in most cases, these don't happen often either, but for most of those, when that would be a fee reduction. They would have a fee they can pay. We can review the permit to make sure it still meets the current or new code that they're applying under, and we can renew the permit for them. The other one would be if they need a temporary certificate of occupancy, we have a fee for that. Those don't happen as often either. More likely on commercial than residential, but there's a fee to allow for that. When you issue a temporary certificate, you then have to go back, whatever that time frame is, to go back through and review it and do another inspection to issue another certificate of occupancy. And it's a little bit more work in the office, and it creates a fee to cover for those expenses. Refund, before we did not have this is to set a time frame. It says within 1 year of permit issued. Sometimes we have people call for permits that have been closed for quite some time, looking for, refunds. So it sets a policy on the county that, to go by as to whether or not they're eligible for a refund or not. One thing I noticed, and that is, so I've gone over everything that we are changing or adding. They're all highlighted in red. One permit fee that I'm not seeing here is very important. That would go under miscellaneous fees, and that is for our solars, and I'm not proposing any change to that. So, but I would need to make sure that that's added on with the board's approval, of course. But do you have any questions for me, or?
I have a question. If someone is going to build a new single-family home in the county, there's a variety of fees here. Say it's it's an average size house. What are they going to end up paying in fees?
Of course, depending on the size home, you're probably going to be about $800 for a permit fee for all the trades in the house. Probably what most of them are going to run.
Thank you. And then this plan review would be an additional
That's the
$200.
only additional, under the residential is the plan review. Under the commercial, we already had a plan review. It was 100, and we're proposing that to be 200 for commercial.
Philip, just a quick question. Under the trade permits, do the subs usually pay that, or does the person applying usually pay it?
In most cases, the subs get their own permits usually, so. And what that allows for, sometimes someone will come in to get a permit to start the project, and then their subs will come in later and get their own permits for the projects. Occasionally, you'll have someone that wants to get all the permits themselves, and we can allow for that as well. They just pay the charges respectively. Yeah, the solar is 33 cents a square foot is what we had approved before, and I'm proposing we maintain that if it's the board's wishes.
That's 33 cents per square foot under
Panel,
panels, correct? Or
Yes,
or what?
sir.
It's the same.
under the panel, yeah. And that was how it was worded before, and I'll make sure we maintain that.
The principles that we dealt with on the last vote are exactly the same on this one. That we have your office's time, you're running around, you're burning gas, you're trying to offer tremendous service to every contractor and every project in the county. And at the same time, we're trying to remove barriers for new home construction, for new business construction. It's a very similar spirit. The plan review addition would be a 25% increase in fees for someone to build a home to go from 800 to 1,000, which I recognize in the course of building a home is, $200 is minimal, but still, it's the principle that we're dealing with.
For residential, for a house, it would be $50.
Oh, 50, I have the
No.
commercial highlighted, I'm
Sure,
sorry.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks for bringing that up.
yeah,
I want to be clear on that.
yeah, thank you. Do you have any other thoughts from board members considering the action we just took?
I can live, I think, Philip is a carefully considered type of guy, he's shown that. I think he can spend a lot of time on this, he's also recovery costs, we want to be encouraging. Do you have a feel for I know you've worked on loan, basically, for other municipalities. You know, how do you think this fee schedule compares to neighboring counties in our region?
It's a mix, some, a lot of the other localities have some of the administrative fees that we do not have. We have ran into situations where, we needed these fees, we just didn't have anything to establish to it, so it gives us some of that. But it brings us in line with most other localities, but not all of them have the plan review for residential is probably 50/50, I'd say.
I was under the thought that there was a permit required to drill a well. Is there?
Through the health department, but not through the police.
Do we have any further comments or questions from the board?
I propose, I move that we accept what has been put forth by
I'll second.
We have a motion on the floor with a second, so unfortunately, Robert's rules require me to take a vote at this point. Mr. Emmert?
That's a no.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper-Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
I'd say yes.
My vote is no. The motion carries. Thank you. Next, we welcome Ms. Chelsea back.
Two times, one night.
Thank you. So now I'd first want to say thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak tonight. I'll now be providing the Economic Development and Tourism Department update. There has been steady interest in industrial sites within the county. I've been communicating with several developers and coordinating meetings to connect them to resources such as workforce development providers. I've also been connecting them with the appropriate contacts to complete various requirements in the site development process. The IDA is making progress with selling and leasing several lots in the Prince Edward Business Park. And the IDA will hold its next regular meeting on February 27th, where the board will likely take action on some of these items. I'm happy to note that for the following completed projects, the final reports have been submitted and final reimbursement payments have been received, and the associated grants were recently closed out. First, the 2022 Tobacco Commission HIT Park grant for Phase 1 of the Industrial Access Road, engineering and design services and right-of-way relocation costs. And a payment of $442,005 was received for that one. Next, the fiscal year 22 VEDP, which stands for Virginia Economic Development Partnership, Business Ready Sites Program HIT Park grant for off-site utilities, water main, and wastewater force main. a $101,700 payment was received for that grant. And lastly, the 2023 APHID Planning Grant for the Economic Development Strategic Plan Project. And for that one, a $20,000 payment was received. Additionally, I submitted the final Tobacco Commission grant reimbursement request for the Five Pillar Meats project for $24,617.57, which we are still waiting to receive the payment for, and then we'll in turn award that to the company. This is the final draw. So after this is received, the grant will be closed out, as well as the other grants I previously mentioned. I am in the process of coordinating site visits to some of the manufacturing companies in the county with the Regional Virginia Economic Development Partnership Business Development Manager, who I recently met, Ms. Annie Conti. And so these meetings will be focused on business retention and expansion, and will hopefully take place next month. I'm still pinning down dates. I'm also pleased to announce that in January, the county was awarded a $20,106 grant for the Governor's Agriculture and Forest Industries Development Fund, or APHID for short, for the Beef Producer Equipment Support Project. We are partnering with Charlotte County through the Virginia Cooperative Extension to purchase a portable cattle handling system and scale that will be available for checkout by producers in both counties. This system will help local small and mid-sized beef producers prepare animals for processing so that they can utilize USDA-inspected meat processing facilities such as Five Pillar Meats. The Planet Networks broadband expansion project is ongoing. The company is preparing to ramp up work and has recently hired about 40 people. The applications for the 2026 rounds of the DHCD, Real Property Investment, and Job Creation grants recently opened in January and will close on April 1st. And as the designated local zone administrator, I have been providing technical support to local businesses in the enterprise zone on their applications. These incentive-based reimbursement grants encourage job creation and private investment in the county. Now regarding tourism, which the tourism report is listed as item 27B on the agenda and starts on page 199. Last fall, our department completed a photo shoot which showcased beautiful scenery and outdoor activities at Briary Creek Lake, Sandy River Reservoir, Twin Lakes State Park, and the Manor Golf Course. The photography and videography captured will be used in upcoming digital and print media projects to promote tourism to the county, and that project was partially grant funded. We are happy to announce that our new tourism website was finalized and it launched last week. It includes promotional web pages that encourage tourists to visit and spend time in the county. Some of the web pages are titled Plan Your Trip, Learn, Stay, and Explore, Outdoor Adventure, and also we have a page that focuses on weddings. So be sure to check out the website at www.exploreprinceedward, all spelled out, is one word.com. December was the highest grossing month for transient occupancy tax revenue in 2025, followed by June and July. This brought the total for the year to $75,531.11, which is about $3,000 more than the total for the previous year. We're currently working on proposals for the next round of VTC grants. We will continue to receive input from the Tourism Council on grant project ideas and proposals. We are still accepting applications for a part-time travel counselor, and we're hoping to begin the interview process soon. And so hiring a travel counselor will help ensure more regular weekend hours for the visitor center and a fully staffed department. Regarding our wayfinding signage project. So the fabrication and implementation phase of this project is ongoing. VDOT is in the process of reviewing the sign programming documents that we've submitted for Trailblazer signs. And once VDOT approves programming, our contractor will need to prepare the required construction and intent documents. VDOT will then need to review those and approve these documents before the project is ready for the bidding phase. The next regular Prince Edward County Tourism Council meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, February 18th at 9 a.m. The council will continue to discuss current projects and new tourism promotion initiatives. So once again, thank you for your time and support. If there are any questions, I will try to answer them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph.
Any questions? Please continue.
Okay, thank you. So now I will basically summarize the item, which is number 17 on page 99 of your packets. So staff would like to apply to the Tobacco Commission fiscal year 26 Southern Virginia program, the second round of this program, to fund the Prince Edward Business Park Pad Development Project. This project falls under Category C, Sites and Infrastructure. Now that Enterprise Lane is complete, which is in our business park, our Prince Edward Business Park, site accessibility has improved, and so the next phase is to make the site more attractive to prospective developers by completing the necessary clearing and grading of the site to make it pad ready. The layout showing the site's location and pad options should be attached with this summary. So at the time of this memo, I was still awaiting cost estimates for this project from the Timmons Group to determine feasibility, scope, and timeline. I've since received those estimates, and so actually, let me hand those out to you right now.
While Chelsea's coming up, Mr. Chair, I would add, I think Joe Hines from Timmons is on the call in case there are any technical questions. Joe, are you there? Again, while Chelsea's making her way back to the podium, we've got a couple different opportunities. One is the Tobacco Commission, and the second is the Virginia Business Ready Sites Program. More likely than not, I mean, the cost you got in front of you is to get us a 25-acre site, but trying to get us a 200,000 square foot pad site, if we have to scale it back based on availability of funding, we could possibly cut that back to, say, a 50 or 100,000 square foot building. But the reality is, I think Chelsea would agree that we need, in order to get attraction out there to the park, we need to continue to move it closer to full development potential. And this is the next logical step in that process.
Thank you, Doug. So just to continue on, the handout, of course, is provided from Timmons with those estimates, and the project total cost is $5,983,000, which is the grant request, or which would be the grant request amount. And a one-to-one match is required, and so dividing that down the middle, the portion that of the match that would be required on both sides, 50-50 or one-to-one, would be $2,991,500, which the IDA and the county, of course, could consider providing, as well as additional grant opportunities as they come available. Now, the VEDP grant that Doug mentioned, that application hasn't opened yet. This one is just the first one that we can apply for right now. So a resolution in support of the project from the Board of Supervisors is required to apply for this grant due to the impending application deadline of February 25th. Staff requests that the Board of Supervisors adopt the attached resolution in support of this grant application for this project so that the application can be submitted before the deadline. The board will have the final authority to accept or deny the grant if it is awarded, and a draft resolution is attached, of course. Additionally, Mr. Alexander McCoy, the Executive Director of the Virginia's Heartland Regional Economic Development Alliance, which we're a part of course, has provided a letter of support for this project, which is attached, and his letter emphasizes the importance of developing product, which is pad-ready sites, shell buildings, as far as what products means, to compete with other localities and ultimately secure economic development projects. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. I'd entertain a motion to approve the proposed resolution.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmerich?
I'm a no.
Mr. Townsend?
Yeah.
Ms. Cooper-Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
I'd have to say no.
All right. And my vote is no. The motion carries.
Thank you.
To be clear, that's not a commitment to fund the thing.
No. It's just to submit the application.
I would suggest a second opinion on some of these numbers.
Okay.
The numbers will be what the bid numbers are on bid day.
This estimate looks outrageous to me.
Joe, you want to address that?
Yeah, so, I think that's Lou asking the question. We looked at middle bid in and around the area. We also looked at bid from the road project, that was bid, I believe, in 2020 or 2021. Doug, you correct me on that. I think it was
21.
23, so 21 was one of the bids. And so these unit prices are relatively consistent with what we're seeing with other projects and with the road project. So we kind of treat that on a bunch of different fronts. Now, we are not in business being a low bidder. We don't want to be a low bidder. The worst thing that can happen is we can give you a number, a budget number, and come in 20 or 30% higher than that. Our hope is the number will come in lower than that. But with Microsoft consuming a lot of the contractors in the region, and we have trouble getting contractors to bid the convenience centers, I'm not overly optimistic that we're going to get 5 to 10 bids when we bid this project. I think we're going to be lucky to get 2, possibly 3 bids. And from that perspective, I feel like this is not an unrealistic scenario or an unrealistic cost estimate. I would more than welcome you going and getting a second opinion if you want to get a second opinion. But again, we're just trying to make sure we incorporate everything into it, including the perfect contingency. And we increase that with even the industrial access road project, project that is literally right there on the site.
Explain to me mobilization, please.
Sure, that's a common thing that the contractor does, is we get all this equipment, construction trailer, basically get the project set up on site. I believe mobilization fee for the road project was, I think it was over $100,000, I believe. It's basically, the contractor gets the first upfront payment, essentially start getting the project cash flow, and get mobilized to site. That includes they're bringing in load boy with all the equipment, or having a load boy they need to bring in. All those things are relative costs up front. The contractor doesn't need to incur to the project every month.
Thank you, Joe.
All right. Let's move on. Ms. Chelsea?
Yes, thank you. So now that we are on item 18, which is on page 103. And I will go ahead and summarize. Staff would like to apply to the Tobacco Commission FY26 Southern Virginia Program, second round, for $5,026.67 to fund the Beef Producer Equipment Support Project. This project This proposed project is a partnership with Charlotte County to produce portable cattle handling system, a portable cattle handling system in scale. The system will be available for checkout by producers in Prince Edward County and Charlotte County. Everything, including the checkout system and equipment, will be managed by the Prince Edward County Agriculture and Natural Resource Agent. The system will help small and mid-sized local beef producers prepare animals for processing so that they can utilize USDA-inspected meat processing facilities, such as Five Pillar Meats. Beef cattle producing is emerging as a leading agricultural enterprise in Prince Edward County and the supporting Southside region. However, many small and mid-sized producers lack access to safe and modern cattle handling equipment. Many of these producers rely on aging or inadequate facilities, limiting their ability to properly manage livestock. This can negatively impact herd health, productivity, and profitability. This project will aim to address these needs and support local cattle farmers, processors, and ancillary agricultural businesses. The project was awarded a matching grant of, as I previously mentioned, of $20,106 in January from the APHID program. Additionally, matching funding for $5,026.66 is required from Prince Edward County and Charlotte counties combined, and the Tobacco Commission requests for $5,026.67. All of the previously mentioned amounts equate to the total project cost of $30,160 to purchase the cattle handling system. So staff requests that the Board of Supervisors adopt the attached resolution in support of the grant application for this project. Just like the previous grant I mentioned, we have to have a resolution in order to first apply.
Thank you. Any discussion? For or against?
For. So moved.
All right. We've got a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All right. A motion and a second. Mr. Emmer,
I'm going to abstain.
Mr. Townsend,
Yes.
Ms. Cooper-Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Watson. Yes. Mr. Jenkins.
Yes.
Dr. Pride.
Yes.
Mr. Gillum.
Yes.
And my vote is yes. The motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Chelsea.
Thank you.
Next, we welcome Mr. Trey Pyle.
Good evening, Board.
Good
Evening.
Good evening.
I got a couple things. The first one, affirmation of the declaration of local emergency. This is in reference to the winter storm that Scott was talking about earlier. Beginning of that week, we were looking at 22 inches possibly of snow, which would be historic for us, obviously. We're fortunate. We dodged the bullet, a big one. Yes, we got some snow. Yes, we got a little bit of sleet behind it, but I think this was done in preparation because we were preparing for the worst. And then we had the ice creeping in on the backside of it. Fortunately, no power outages, no significant incidents occurred in the county, and everybody stayed safe and warm throughout the entire incident. The ice behind it, I think, was something new for us. We've never seen a hard freeze and Cannon, like you said, you've been here, what, 40, 50 years? That hard freeze for a week behind it was hard. So before you is, when we do a local declaration, we just have to have the board affirm it at the next board meeting or within 45 days. And attached is a draft resolution for y'all's consideration.
I'd like to entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Mr. Emmer.
Yes.
Mr. Townsend.
Yes.
Ms. Cooper-Jones.
Yes.
Mr. Watson.
Yes.
Mr. Jenkins.
Yes.
Dr. Pride.
Yes.
Mr. Gillum.
Yes.
My vote is yes. The motion carries.
And we did rescind that the Thursday following, I believe it was. So prior to the next wave or clipper system we had come through. Your next item on the agenda is a loan request from Hampton-Sydney Fire Department. In 2011, the Board of Supervisors approved the creation of the Fire Association Financial Fund. At that time, the board voted to provide a total of $600,000 to the member of the fire associations at a low interest rate for purchase of apparatus or equipment needs. Section 15.2-954 of the Virginia Code authorizes any locality to make loans to nonprofit organizations furnishing fire, fighting, or rescue services. The master agreement signed by all the fire departments and rescue squad contains the procedures by which the fire association will request the funds to be borrowed and for which organization and the county will create a promissory note, which provides that in the event of default, each member of the association guarantees repayment of the loan. The request in front of you is for Hampton-Sydney. They're requesting $100,000 to assist with the purchase of a 2014 Pierce Freightliner engine to replace their current 1997 Pierce International engine. Total cost of the purchase is $186,750. Hampton-Sydney will be providing the additional funds. I will say, in comparison, a new engine today, easily $1 million. So, I've seen some pictures of the truck. Truck looks like in really good shape. I think they're probably getting a really good deal for what they're getting. Financially, obviously, it's another smart purchase. At its January 2026 meeting, the Fire Association approved the request from Hampton-Sydney Fire Department for a loan up to $100,000 to finance the fire truck from the department's capital expenditure financing fund. Currently, there are no outstanding loans on record with the county, and the balance available is $648,928. Attached are your the letter from the association, the promissory note, meeting record notes from when it was established, and the master agreement that was executed.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Motion?
I'll make the motion.
Go ahead. I'll second. Those got the motion.
Motion and a second. Mr. Emmer?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper-Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson? Yes. Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pratt?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
And my vote is yes. The motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trey.
Do you want to do the talking on this one
I'm
since
gonna
it's the
help you.
incident?
We're gonna tag team.
Okay. I'll start. I'm gonna let Sarah finish. She's the code person here.
Trey, just a point of order.
Yes, sir.
On page 114, this is just for us to see. Not a single person on that board is either here or alive anymore.
Yeah. And that's mainly the reason that we try to go back with the history there, so y'all are aware.
No one left on the board and half of them have passed away.
Right. And what, 12 years?
12 years.
Difference.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying it don't look good for us, so y'all better be cleaning up. That's what I just told Jared.
You got one living, but you can't,
Yeah, no, I said half, that's right. But I said it don't look good for us, folks.
All right, your next,
That would
next
put me
item.
like 35.
Yeah. Your next item is the public, a report from the Public Safety Committee on a volunteer fire and EMS incentive program for the county. The Public Safety Committee's been working with staff and the Prince Edward Area Firefighters Association for about a year now on structuring an incentive program that will help recruit and retain volunteer firefighters in EMTs in the county. Following numerous meetings and a lot of discussion and research, the Public Safety Committee, the most recent change to Public Safety, Gillum, Emmert, and Townsend, is recommending that the board move forward with the establishment of a volunteer incentive program by authorizing public hearings on the proposed amendments to the county's 3 sections of the county code. Just a little background. So this actually was a fire association request. They came before and presented it, and staff kind of worked back and forth with them. We've been around looking at what we're allowed to do by code and what programs are out there statewide. So it's been a long process, but I think that it's a good step forward for us to lean towards those volunteers. I'm going to let Sarah talk about the code sections because we had a couple changes today, and then I'll be up here if there's anything else.
Talk about the point system. So in addition to the Public Safety Committee having reviewed this several weeks ago, the Ordinance Committee met this afternoon and also reviewed this. And the 3 members on the Ordinance Committee also recommended that this be brought forward to the board for public hearing. So with that said, we are going to withdraw the amendments to Section 70-2 because we have learned that that is not necessary in order to accomplish the board's mission, which would be to provide the incentive to the volunteers through personal property taxation. I'm going to use incentive, but if I can get you to turn to page 128 in your board pack, we're going to talk about the establishment of that separate tax classification, and that is how the board would accomplish the incentive by establishing a separate classification of taxation for motor vehicles owned or leased by active volunteer members of county volunteer fire departments and rescue squads. In essence, the board would have the authority to set the tax rate for that class of property. And as part of your budget process, staff will work with you to run numbers to give you, I'm going to say variable options so that you can determine where you want to land, and then that proposed tax rate would in fact go through the budget taxation process, just like the real estate and the personal property and everything else. And so we can manage the incentive through that. So I'll say, let me stop there and see if anybody has any questions about what that process would look like. Now, all we're asking you tonight is to consider affirming this and authorizing it for public hearing. If you have additional questions, if you need further explanation, if you are concerned about anything, we have until the March meeting to hopefully answer your questions, bring the county attorney back in, whatever the case may be. But the board's actual deliberation of the issue would be at the March public hearing. Tonight, you would consider authorizing the public hearing. So if there are no questions on that section, I'm going to ask you to flip to page 131. So the incentive, I'm going to compare these two code sections and call the first one the tax classification incentive, and then this one is the decal incentive. We don't have the decal anymore, but there's still a license fee. So you don't get the decal, but you still pay the license fee. And for many, many, many years, it looks like maybe as long as since 1976 possibly, the Board of Supervisors has provided the free decal or license fee basically to every volunteer fire and EMS member of a county fire or EMS agency. So in order to maintain the, I'm going to say the ability of every member in good standing of a volunteer agency to get the decal exemption, the decal for free, the license tax-free, we're having to just change the language of that one because the tax classification for motor vehicle incentive actually is going to have criteria by which the volunteers have to be active members and participate to a threshold level, which will be managed by their individual departments and then affirmed to the commissioner. So one would be for active members, one would be for all members in good standing. Does that make sense? I'm not sure if I explained that well. And so hence we had to go in and amend section 7454 just so we could make sure that no one was excluded, no member in good standing was excluded from the license fee incentive. So with that, I'm going to let Trey explain on pages 132 and 133 the administrative policy for how a volunteer member qualifies to be an active volunteer member?
So when we looked at this, the only way we can make it fair across the board is to have a standard definition. And it's not possible to go back in timely considerations and make every department bylaws changes, because there's a process through all that you have to do. So in order for us to make sure that the county views every volunteer to the same standard, we set an administrative policy. So basically, we decided on a point system. So you get a point for showing up to your monthly meeting. You get a point for coming to a training. For an incident response, you get a point. And basically, there's a spreadsheet that follows behind all that. And there's some software we're looking at that can hopefully help them track all of that long term, make it easier for reports. But at the end of the day, we're looking at 100 points for an active member. You can get the full 500 benefit. We know that there's administrative assistants and support members and stuff that don't actively participate in the fire department as far as running calls, but they're very important to fundraisers and station duties and such. So if they can hit that 500, that 50 points, you can get $250, off of your personal property. So we're trying to make it inclusive for everybody that's doing something to keep that department running. Because I'll use the term, it takes a village to keep the department running. It doesn't have to be that person actively fighting fire. Sometimes it's the person that does books. Sometimes it's the person that knows how to repair stuff. We got to make sure we're trying to include everybody we can that's involved in that department. So if there's any questions, it's a little cumbersome to try to explain without having paperwork in front of you, but basically a point system that is standardized across the entire county and spelled out to the T.
We talked about this at our retreat that we were doing with Tyler St. Clair, and I think that this is a fantastic concept because demand on first responders is going up, but our population is stagnant, our tax base is stagnant. We cannot afford fiscally to go to a all-paid fire department or an all-paid we can't afford to take on full-time employees for every first responder position. Yet we completely rely on these people, and they're putting their lives on the line every day to keep us safe and to provide life-saving services. So I want us to do everything possible to support our folks in uniform. So I think it's a great idea with that. Is there any questions or further discussion before we entertain a motion?
And I think it's fair to say, Mr. Chairman, also that as both committees have discussed, this is probably the start of the conversation. We're very fortunate here in Prince Edward County to have so many robust departments of fire EMS that have volunteers that are made up of our citizens. This won't necessarily incentivize all of our members because, for example, we're fortunate to have a lot of Longwood and Ham-Sydney students that serve, and probably the majority of them, their vehicles are registered outside of Prince Edward County. So we're hoping that this is a starting place to help the departments retain and recruit new members. But we're certain this is probably not the end of the conversation.
Thank you.
I'll call for a question.
All right.
Make a motion as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper-Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
And my vote is yes. The motion carries. Thank you both. All right. Ms. Puckett?
Yes, sir. On page 135. So the Virginia Department of Environmental Quality requires that every locality in Virginia have a water supply plan. And this program started after I'm going to say, the memorable drought of 2001, 2002, when those of us who remember know that there was zero flow in the Appomattox River. And so the goal is to help ensure that, the planning for adequate and safe drinking water for all Virginians, and obviously also, to promote the planning and to make sure that localities are thinking ahead. So effective November 8th of 2025, localities are now mandated to update their water supply plans. And the update is required to be that each locality participate in a regional plan. And that plan is due October the 9th, 2029. So for the purposes of Prince Edward County, we have been located by the state into a region with Charlotte, Lunenburg, and Nottoway County. So our 4 counties will be working together. And we have the benefit of the Commonwealth Regional Council, who has worked very hard to assist us with this regional planning effort. And in fact, has amazingly, I'm going to say I'm not sure how, but has amazingly coordinated with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to write the plan at no cost to localities, which is probably about a $300,000 or more lift that we would have had to have shared regionally. However, there's always a catch, but however, each county must provide very detailed information to the Corps on, it's a huge spreadsheet that's been provided by DEQ on information to include current sources, uses, forecasted demand, and multiple other data sets related to water use and demand for their jurisdiction. So we would need to provide it for the entirety of Prince Edward County to include the town of Farmville. And we also, Hampden-Sydney College has a water supply, so we would have to include them. So this is we don't have an on-staff engineer, and so we reached out to Timmons, and I'm going to say I maybe hope Joe's still on the phone, because the board had worked with Timmons for a number of years on the Sandy River and the water supply planning that we've done previously. So they are by far the most knowledgeable about water supply information in Prince Edward County. They also are one of the engineering firms that has been procured by the Commonwealth Regional Council. So they're already under contract and available through procurement process for the localities in the CRC. And we asked them to look at, I'm going to call it the preliminary scope of work that would have to be done in order for the County of Prince Edward to provide the Corps of Engineers the data that it needs to complete our portion of the regional water supply plan. And attached, you will see the scope of work that Timmons has provided. The scope, the initial scope, which is the 28.3, is going to be on the front end. That's the completion, the research, the forecasting of all of the data. It's going to take them 12 to 14 weeks to put all of that data together. And we've coordinated with the CRC so that they understand. Maybe we're just a little more complicated than some of our neighboring counties, primarily because the town clearly has a large utility system and is one of the larger incorporated towns in the region. And then the second portion of that would be after the draft of the report is written, Timmons will go back and actually review during the response period and make sure that the interests of the county are accurately represented, and to make sure that what the Corps has presented in this water supply plan is what is good for Prince Edward County, since Timmons, I'm going to say, is the expert on water supply for us. So with that said, I don't, Joe, if you're on the phone. Is he?
Yeah, I'm still here, Sarah.
I'm happy for you to add. I know we had a very robust conversation the other day with Matt about this.
Yeah, so, and Sarah, yeah, to add to your comment, Sarah, the regional water supply plan is kind of the overall guiding planning document of what is required. They are now taking it directly from the county and putting them into regional groups, largely because the state recognizes that, somebody pulls out of the Appomattox upstream or, transfers to another basin, it has regional impact, not just locality boundary impact. As far as the process is concerned, the young man, Matt Miller, who is going to be the project manager that would lead this effort, he basically helped fight, and apply for all the regional permits with the Sandy River Water Project. Matt is a UVA undergraduate. He actually went and got his master's in MIT and worked for a larger water wastewater consultant while he was in Boston, and we were lucky to get him on board back in Richmond. So he is very familiar with everything that the county has today. He'll be very efficient in getting his work done. Our proposal is a time and materials proposal, so it's not a, you'll get a, hey, we need a check for $28,300. It's basically going to be his time to take this together in a thorough and comprehensive manner. And he is probably one of the most thorough and comprehensive engineers I've ever worked with. So, you're paying for our time to do it. Make sure that we watch out for your best interest and see any red flags that could be problematic. We would point those out and basically make sure that you're all fully aware of what the red flags are.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
One quick question. Joe, which one of the engineering is he? Is he the 110 or the 340?
He's not 340. I think he's going to be the senior project manager, so I think he's the 235 rate. Might be a little bit higher. I'd have to do that facility, but I think that's where he's going. That project. Matt has about, he might be close to 20 years of experience. I think it's at least 15.
Thank you, Joe.
Any further questions from the board?
I will say, Mr. Chairman, that this funding is available in the FY '26 budget.
Part of our engineering for Sandy River.
Yes. So an additional appropriation is not being requested. We've known the water supply plan was coming, and it's been budgeted, so, but for procurement purposes, it exceeds the.
All right. In that case, I would entertain a motion to approve the fee proposal from Timmons for providing assistance with the regional water supply plan.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper-Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson? Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
My vote is yes. The motion carries. Thank you. Ms. Sarah, we can move along.
On page 143, we have two appointments. So we inadvertently overlooked the reappointment of Mr. Watson to the Poplar Hill CDA. Historically, his term on the CDA has run concurrent with his term on the board. So we would ask the board, with Mr. Watson's concurrence, that he be reappointed to the Poplar Hill CDA for a term to expire 12/31/2029.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper-Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Jenkins? Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
And my vote is yes.
Additionally, Supervisor Watson is having to resign from the Board of the Piedmont Senior Resources, and we will need a board member replacement to fill his unexpired term, which is set to expire on June 30, 2027.
I'd like to make a motion to put Mr. Bill Jenkins in that position, if he would accept.
Second that.
Accept that nomination. All right.
Yes.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper-Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Jenkins? Or I guess you ought to abstain. Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
And my vote is yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Cheryl.
Good evening, members of the board.
Good evening.
I have two school appropriations for your approval for tonight. The first one is a request from the Prince Edward County School Board to appropriate funds totaling $272,880.45 in federal and state money to the school operating budget described below.
So moved.
Second.
Motion on the floor with a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper-Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson? Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
And my vote is yes.
Thank you. The second one is another school appropriation, but it's from the acting superintendent because we're waiting to ensure that we had actual CARES money through the audit. So they're asking for $345,637.55 in local funds to the school operating budget. And this would be reimbursement of indirect costs through the CARES Act funding. And there is no local match for this as well.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper-Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
And my vote is yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. This time, we'll have the county administrator's report. Mr. Stanley?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, first, last Thursday, I was able to go down to Richmond, Legislative Day for VACO. It was a great opportunity to meet with our local delegation. I was able to meet with either our delegate and senators or their staff members. In particular, able to lobby for our potential for being added to the list for the local sales tax for school capital improvements, but also our $2 million request that Senator Cyphers has so graciously put in to get us reimbursed for the money that we lost in the, I'll say, the memorandum of agreement with the Department of General Services to provide water for the Burkeville and Crew area. I believe it was passed by in committee, but I still think there's the opportunity there for other committee members to bring that back up and get it included in the budget, so fingers crossed. Main reason I was really there meeting with folks was to really lobby in opposition to bills that have been submitted that would take away local authority on things like solar, battery storage, residential subdivision development, things that are land use decisions that I know this board adamantly feels belong at the local level and not the state level. So I think the good thing I bring back is that I think, to a man or woman, all of our delegation agrees with the positions the board has taken on those items. And, we'll have to see how things shake out in Richmond during the session. But, if a solar project or something's going in across the street from your house, this board ought to be the one making the decision. Feel adamant in that. Storm response, our county staff did a great job in prepping and cleaning up our facilities during the winter storms in January. I know Randy was down 2 staff members, and we appreciate PRJ for sending over a crew to help us to assist. The continuous freezing and thawing made it difficult to maintain the safety of our facilities. The Prospect Peavers ambulance trial, we met last night with the Peavers president and operations chief to discuss the potential to relocate the 12-hour ambulance back to Prospect on a permanent basis. Let me just say it was an extremely productive conversation. I think we're both on the same page and now are very quickly trying to figure out the logistics and agreed upon costs. We're hoping to bring back a multi-step plan to make it a permanent fix. But it was good, I think, Sarah, you'd agree, it was good to hear, I think, and Trey, Peavers agreed with us that it was an improvement across the service delivery across the county. And in the long-term best interest, if we can figure out a way to make it work, it'll provide better service, better coverage for our citizens. Emergency radio system, the county's $1,695,000 budget appropriation was included in the FY26 federal budget. 77% of that funding will impact our share of the project. To date, not only we have that, but we got the AFG grant from FEMA for $988,285. Special thanks to Emergency Services Coordinator Trey Powell for his efforts in securing those funds. A good job, Trey. Connect's Planet Network broadband project as of December 1, we had 370 miles of broadband middle mile conduit and fiber installed in Prince Edward. 51 of that were the state-funded VADI program, 319 the federal program, 4,019 passings with a total of 22 additional installs in December. To date, we've had 1,118 installs countywide. Planet Network, as Chelsea mentioned, is in the process of hiring about 50-plus employees, which should be completed in the next month. We're also working with them to lease them a section of county industrial park property because they have all this equipment and material coming in. They need a place to put it. The overall three county projects, about 56.34% complete. Hopefully with the additional staffing coming in, that'll start wrapping up once the weather breaks. As Chelsea mentioned, we received the $20,106.67 grant from the Tobacco Commission to aid in the purchase of the mobile cattle scale. That was a project that came to us from Extension. They made the request to us to help them out on that. I appreciate Chelsea's help. Our FY 26-27 budget, Joint Finance Committee received a presentation from the superintendent on division priorities for the upcoming budget. The next budget meeting will be February 17th with Chip presenting his draft budget here at 3:30, followed by Jimmy Sanderson presenting a Davenport update and us talking budget goals for the upcoming budget next Tuesday. Animal shelter project, our shelter committee met with the architect last month on a reduced floor plan for the project. We hope to be able to bring back a recommendation to the properties committee in the next month. Building inspection software, staff indicated they received their first trial electronic payment as a test through the new software system last week. They identified a few changes the vendor needs to make, but I want to thank the treasurer's office for helping to prioritize and make that a priority for all of us. And once that's complete, it'll make the entire process available online. Received word that the RAM clinic, next RAM clinic, which last year was held in Cumberland, will be held in March of 27 here at Prince Edward County Middle School. That's an opportunity for folks in our community who cannot afford medical care to be able to have access to those services. I know it'll take a lot to pull that off, and I appreciate Chip Schools stepping up and making the facility available for that. Strategic plan, again, we've rescheduled our next session with Tyler St. Clair to March 6th, 7th. Make sure that's on your calendar. And we've got, I think, the Prospect Volunteer Fire Banquet on the 8th at 5 o'clock. Let's see, next Monday, the 16th, Steps has a housing project community meeting at the Woodland Community Center from 4:30 to 6 p.m. And Dr. Pride has her Hampden District Town Hall meeting on the 26th at 6 p.m. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
All right. Thank you very much. Does the board have anything else before we go into closed session? Seeing none, I did.
Here's a, pass this up, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Pass it.
Emmert, would you like to make your motion?
Move the Board of Supervisors convene closed session for discussion, consideration, performance of county building official pursuant to exemptions provided in section 2.2-3711A1 of the Code of Virginia.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson? Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
My vote is yes. We are now in closed session.
gave up. I gave one to Jim Shred. He told me that he got figured out really good.
We sold it all before we got it all in the pot.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the board move back into return to open session.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Patty?
Yes.
Mr. Watson? Yes. Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
My vote is yes.
Whereas Prince Edward County Board of Supervisors has convened in closed session on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provision of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas Section 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia requires certification by the board that such closed session was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved, the board hereby certifies to the best of each member's knowledge that only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements of Virginia law were discussed in closed session to which this certification resolution applies, and only such public matters were identified in the motion by which the closed session was convened, was heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson? Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
And my vote is yes. At this time, if there's not more business to attend to, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And a second?
Yes.
All right. Roll call, Mr. Emmert?
Yes.
Mr. Townsend? Ms. Cooper Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Watson? Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Dr. Pride?
Yes.
Mr. Gillum?
Yes.
My vote is yes. We are adjourned.